Instablog, November 6th, 2020. Lockdown 2.0. That's what they're calling it over here, which is weird really. There wasn't a lockdown 1.5. Although I guess a 3-tier system could be classed as that. Actually, in a few areas of England, they reached that point. It was called social contact restrictions, as generally the shops remained open, a few leisure services had to close there. We all had the 10 PM pubs and restaurant closure too. But would they need a 1.5 anyway? Why couldn't they simply go straight from 1 to 2? Because then they wouldn't need to create the decimal placing, which was actually just me. Anyway, with the national lockdown looming on the horizon, I took a leap of faith. I booked tickets on the Eurostar for December, just after Paris closed the doors on her citizens. But not a full lockdown. The curfew has been lifted, but non-essential businesses will be closed, as well as private gatherings being stopped. Despite schools remaining open, sworn declarations will still have to be provided upon request. The excitement has already begun, there's no denying that. My blogging site is followed by 2 people, myself is half of that figure. But Instagram is slowly building up. My 16 posts have 21 followers. 2 are my own accounts and 1 is a friend. Anyway, 18 are real unpaid people who either enjoy my content or have shared motivations. I'm enjoying the latest stage of my experience, simply adding photos to the gram. And now with the second trip to Paris making its way closer, I'll be able to get more photos and even visit some of the places that I need to see for my final assignment. I don't know how much extra I'll be able to get, but some is better than none, especially as it will be the last trip before we totally leave the EU. So many highlights in one trip. I did a little digging around on Tinterweb recently and managed to dig up a department in France that sends out paperwork regarding businesses. For some reason. I decided to grab myself a registration document for Au Pair Tranquille. I get like that at times. I take a project that I have an interest in and go to town with it. The main issue that I have at present isn't simply the financial burden nor the storage requirement. For my masters, I'm required to write a fresh piece of 15,000 words, and for this, I want to delve deep into a single strand of thought. I know this won't happen. Okay, I can encompass it all by saying it's Paris, but that's a cop-out. I need it to be meaningful, insightful into one aspect of Paris. Again, this won't happen as my mind loves a diversion and my writing indulges in diversifications. Cop-out is a great example of this. I know it means to take the easy option, but I was unsure of the spelling, which led me to wondering about the origins of the expression. A quick Google check later and there are so many definitions as well as many variations to the etymology of the phrase. This happened not at a convenient break of time, but quite literally moments before writing this paragraph. I catch a thought and run with it. This, dear reader or listener, is the problem. I wanted originally to write about fountain pens. This was last year. My fountain pen collection has since increased from the original one that I bought in order to write my second book and the gift I received for my first Father's Day. I have acquired just shy of 2 dozen more in the space of 18 months. The idea of 15,000 words on fountain pens, in a similar style if possible to Umberto Eco, ended up being a daunting task. And that's why I started this little book back at the end of last year. In fact, just a few days short of a year ago now. I'd even titled this notebook Le Book de Paris, although that page remains blank, save for the squiggle that is my name. Paris in 15,000 words. Easy when it's a diary, not so easy when it has to be of a certain quality in order to impress both academics and tutors. And this is why my mind wandered around Paris and her arrondissements, although it's my feet that did all the walking. And now I'm sat at a desk, lamplight hurting my eyes, and my mind is struggling to focus on what I want to say. I know the destination, but the journey isn't easy this evening. So, back to it. 15,000 words of encapsulating writing means it can't be just a Paris journal. And the way my mind works, this isn't an issue. I found my writing spot in Au Pair Tranquille, and it gave me my focus, the history and even patrons of this fine establishment. Yet, the more I dig, the more my mind wanders. Au Pair Tranquille is located around the Westfield shopping centre at Les Halles. Westwood wasn't always here. There were postcards showing me the area represented in what I imagined to be the 1930s. Was it like the depiction? Who knows? More research and I find different views of Leal from prior times, and these are photographs. A flick through eBay and some more use of my PayPal account finds me with even more photographs. And a book. It is of photos by Robert Desnois, who took photos of many things throughout his career. And a lot of these were of Paris. There is even a specific book about Leal. I now also need to look into Opère Tranquille more than simply the matchbook that I bought from an American collector. I have to learn the history behind Leal aside from market day. I should investigate Robert Desnois to create a singular human focal point to my 15,000 words. All the while, I'm still writing with my fountain pens and adding to my collection, and have even purchased 3 typewriters, 2 of which need to be renovated in differing amounts. I wonder if my 18 followers will ever read my blog.